What's up guys, it's Harangi DBZ here, back with another no bullshit review. It's been a while, but finally I got something new and exciting to review for you guys, and I'm very excited because I've been waiting a long time for this piece, about 9 months to be precise, and it just rocked up yesterday, so I'm keen to give you guys a look, run you through the assembly, how to put it together, and talk about the piece itself, any flaws, what I think of it personally, and we'll have a closer look. So, as you can see, we've got the Last Sleep Son Goku statue, quarter scale. Last Sleep Studios really nailed this piece. Like, if you guys can see, it's huge. It's 70 centimeters tall. The attention to detail on it is incredible. I'll show you guys some close-ups in a second. I've been wanting a good quarter scale Super Saiyan 3 Goku for a while, so when this popped up I had to get it. Now you do have the option of running the base form or a Super Saiyan head as well as the Super Saiyan 3 head, so you can choose whichever Goku is your preference, but I think the Super Saiyan 3 looks pretty damn good. So have a look around guys, I'll give you the 360 view. The base is amazing, you've got the Dragon Balls, you've got Shenron. Very great detail. The paint is really well done. The sculpt is obviously really well done. And the aura is crazy. Alright guys, so I've stripped the base down to the bare minimum and we're going to run through the assembly process really quickly because there are quite a few different pieces here and it can get a little bit tricky putting it all together. So we're going to start from the bottom and essentially work our way up. Starting with the Shenron that goes on the base. So as you can see here, we've got our Shenron now. He's got two arms here that attach in either side. And he just sits right in here, pretty straightforward. He's got a magnet in there to hold him in. Next we've got this cloud, or this bit of dust here, which sits right there. Then we can go ahead and put in Shenron's whiskers. Now they just slot straight in, pretty straightforward. Like that. After that, hopefully you can see there's another arm for Shenron, which just goes on the side here, where next to the 4-star Dragon Ball. So if you can see that, slots in like that, and sits there nicely. Okay, so once we've got the base done, we can start putting in the auras. So this piece here sits in the front, just like that. Then we've got this piece here with the rod sticking out. This goes in the back. Now they've done a really great job with all the magnets and the engineering of this piece. So that sits in the back there, sits pretty good. This piece here goes on the side, just above Shenron's arm, right there. Then we want this piece, which is going to sit just in there, okay? Now this is a supporting piece for the next big piece of aura. Alright, so with this really massive piece, the bottom is going to sit straight into the bench and it's going to hook up to this part right here of that other aura piece. So it'll sit on top and then be grounded into the center of the base. If you can see there, so it's resting on this piece of aura and then the bottom goes straight into there, okay? So that's kind of getting supported both ways. Now this is a pretty heavy bit. So with this piece, I'll turn it around so hopefully you guys can see the back. We've got a magnet right here. So that's just going to slot in there. And in the bottom, you'll see a groove in the bottom where the pointy end kind of sits nicely, and that should sit in smoothly in there, and it should all fit together pretty well if you've done it right. All the magnets link up good, it should be sweet. Now before we get onto the final piece of aura, which sits in the top there, you want to put in Goku himself. Alright, so once that big aura piece is in, ready to go, we can grab Goku's body, and he just slides straight in there. He sits in there pretty good. Once he's in there, we can grab his belt, clip that on. Just got a little magnet that sits right in there very nicely. Then we can go ahead and put the head in. So we've got 3 different heads to choose from. You've got base form Goku, Super Saiyan, or what I'm going to be running is the Super Saiyan 3 head, which is pretty massive. So we can put that on next, just slip it over the top, and it should sit in there quite nicely. Once the head's on, we can add in that last piece of aura. So grab our last aura bit. Now we want it to be in front of his hand, and then we can slip the back end through so it sits nicely in the top of the aura part. You guys can see that, it just sits right in there and runs across through the front, in front of his hand. Once that's all in, guys, we can grab his hand with the ripped shirt, pop that in there, and all done. So hopefully that helps. It was a little bit tricky at first, trying to figure out where all these little bits and pieces went. Like the arms for Shenron can be a little bit tricky. It's hard to see where they sit. This front bit there, I had no idea. And this back aura piece took me a while to figure out that it's meant to sit underneath and kind of support that larger piece. But yeah, that's how you put it together. All right, guys, so let's start with what I do like about this statue. Pretty much everything. Like, look at it. It's a true masterpiece, and it is definitely a grail. And if you did not purchase this or you missed out, you're going to be spewing, because it is definitely one that I think everyone should have in their collection. Whether you get the quarter scale or the 6th scale, it did come in both. This is just epic. So the paint is really well done. The sculpt is really well done. It's pretty much flawless. Like, there are some minor applications of the paint that are a bit, blotchy and whatnot, but nothing's ever perfect. But this is pretty damn close. And one thing I found really handy is that they provided a little power pack to plug straight in to power the LEDs. It just takes 3 AA batteries. So spin this around and we can see the port in the back there. Just plug straight in. Once you've got your batteries in there, flick the switch on and bam. Really good lighting. It looks amazing. So most pieces contain a magnet to kind of hold it in place, and the magnets are really strong. Like, they do the job well. So you find, like, a lot of times the magnets that they use are pretty weak and pieces can fall off, but I'm pretty satisfied that this is going to hold and last a long time. It's really well made. Like, the engineering they put into this is just very well thought out. Another cool little addition was that for the extra heads, you get a cool little stand to display them if you choose. So we've got your base and your Super Saiyan there, and that's a really nice addition. It's all those little kind of things that really count and really leave a lasting impression. Now, the packaging with this piece was done really well. There was no breaks or scratches or any damage to the product at all. The box it came in was massive and extremely heavy. It took 2 people to carry it in. Yeah, it paid off because there was no breaks, and that's the last thing you want on a piece, especially something this well made and this heavy. It's going to be likely to break during transit, but thank God it didn't. And for the cost as well, yeah, you definitely don't want any breakages happening at all. So 10 out of 10 for packaging. They smashed it. So let's move on to the things I don't necessarily like about this. Look, there were quite a few pieces, and it was a bit of a headache to put together, but once you figure it out, it's not so bad. Another thing to note is it didn't come with like any certificate of authenticity or anything like that, or that I saw anyway. It's not a huge deal, but I think a lot of people would be looking for that when they're purchasing something as expensive and as limited as this. They want to know it's authentic, and they want to know what number of production it was, and etc. So I think that would be pretty handy. Not a big deal, and maybe it did come with one and it was lost in the box somewhere, but I didn't see it. Now, a couple of things probably could have been done better. The whiskers on Shenron, for instance, they're very flimsy, and they kind of just stick in there. Like, I'm not sure how secure that's going to be long term. Luckily they didn't break, but I feel like it'd be so easy for them to fall out or get snapped off. And that goes with the arms for Shenron as well. Like around the base you have all these little arms kind of, and just bits and pieces that kind of stick out. And I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but the more little fragile bits, the easier it is for, for these pieces to break. And they are fragile already, so they don't need to be, putting that extra risk, in my opinion. Now, one thing to note, I did buy this for the Super Saiyan 3 sculpt, but I was a little concerned from the pictures, like, hopefully you guys can see it in the video, and maybe it's just a hair, but it kind of looks like he doesn't have much of a neck, and I was a bit concerned about that. Compared to his base form and Super Saiyan form, those sculpts are perfect, they're immaculate, but I was a little concerned of what the Super Saiyan 3 sculpt would look like and whether it was the best option for this piece. But after seeing it in person, I think it looks great. It's really well made, and it fits really good into my display. Alright guys, so overall, this is an amazing statue. It's definitely one that you should own if you're, a serious collector. It's a must-have. 10 out of 10 would recommend it. Try to get your hands on it if you can, whether you get the quarter scale or the 6 scale. One thing I should note is that compared to my other quarter scale resin statues, this is slightly bigger. I compared the body to the figure class Mastered Ultra Instinct, and it's probably 10-20% bigger than that. So yeah, it is a really big piece, so make sure you got the room to display it if you are going to invest in it. So yeah, there really isn't much bad to say about this piece. Just a nice, short, simple review, give you guys a look at it, help you guys piece it together if you do own it, or are planning to get it, and hopefully help you make a decision on whether you really want it or not, because yeah, I think it's a must-have, guys. So if you can, get onto it. Super Saiyan Goku, or just Son Goku, I guess, depending on what head you choose to run. Quarter scale by Last Sleep Studios. So I'm excited to see what they come up with next. They've currently got a Vegeta on the way, which looks really cool. I'm not sure if I'll be getting that one yet, but after Goku, it's definitely a possibility. So we'll see what happens there. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this piece if you do own it, or if you're planning to get it. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.